All right. Good morning, everyone. And what a beautiful morning this is. I want to start out by welcoming all of you here and telling you how pleased I am to be here with all of you for what I know will be a great announcement for the Halton region. I want to start by recognizing, of course, that we have a number of very, very special people in the audience. So I am going to start off with, of course, Attorney General Yasir Naqvi, who is right here up at the front. If you can please give him a round of applause. Also here is the Minister of Labour and MPP for Oakville, Kevin Flynn, who all of you know well here in Oakville. The Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport, the MPP for Burlington, Eleanor McMahon. And Ted Arnott, Halton Hills, MPP for Halton Hills. We have several mayors here also, so Mayor Burton right there and Mayor Bennett. And a number of city councilors, and I'm not going to go through all the names, I apologize in advance, but I think we should get going. This is a good day for Halton. You know, a great deal of hard work, tireless efforts, and deep discussion has brought us to this point today. And there are absolutely strong voices in Halton, and we are all really a stronger community because of these voices. And it has paid off. As most of you know, Halton is one of the fastest growing regions in the province, but you may not know that it's also one of the fastest growing regions in the country. And we're working hard to keep up with the needs and demands that go along with this remarkable growth and this remarkable pace. In fact, our government is making the largest infrastructure investment in Ontario's history in our province. And a significant number of those projects are right here in our community. Just look next door, just look behind you. Right there behind you, we have the brand new state-of-the-art Oakville Trafalgar Memorial Hospital. And just down the road, we have the massive expansion of Milton District Hospital. In addition, not to mention, the schools are going up all around this area, several of them. I think last count in Halton region anyway, the riding of Halton about 11. Road improvements, the expansion of the 401 in some spots to about 15 lanes. And we're set to get to work on a new university-led post-secondary site soon in the area. So it seems like just around the corner, everywhere you look, you're going to see a bulldozer, you're going to see a crane, you're going to see a tractor. We saw one heading out down the street just a few minutes ago. What I'm trying to say is that it's an exciting time to live in this area and in Halton. The progress is amazing, but we're not done. We know there is a specific need in our community that we must address, and I know I and my colleagues have had countless conversations with our constituents and people in the area about how important this is. We've heard it time and time again, and I want you to know that we've been listening. The Attorney General has been listening specifically. After all of the meetings, all of the planning, and all of the waiting, I am excited and proud of the announcement that's going to be made today. It's going to have a significant impact on our communities, on our region, and on this area. And here to share all of the details with you is my friend and colleague, one of the hardest working people I know, the Attorney General, Yasir Naqvi. I know he has been working tirelessly on this announcement, and he's going to share this announcement with all of you, and it is going to be a great benefit to this region, Burlington, Oakville, and Milton. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Indira, for that very kind introduction, and I'm really always happy to be in Halton and in Oakville in particular. I want to thank my colleagues, Indira, Kevin, Eleanor, and Ted for their kindness and their hospitality. Many of you may know, some of you may know, Oakville is my second home because my parents just live down the street. In town of Oakville and in Indira's riding, somehow there's always a Rob Burton sign that creeps up on their lawn. I don't know how that happens, but it happens. I don't see him. I think my dad is coming to this announcement. I don't see him, so when he comes out, we'll give him a shout out as well. Before I start, I do want to acknowledge that today is the National Aboriginal Day, and I would like to recognize the long history of First Nations and Métis peoples in Ontario and show respect to the Mississaugas of New Credit, whose land we stand on today. In addition to the introductions that were made, I also want to recognize Regional Senior Judge Sharon Nicholas and Regional Senior Justice of Peace Brad Kelly from Central West Region who are here with us, and they're smiling ear to ear because they've been also bending my ear a lot. So welcome to both of you. I know you are all very excited for what the reason we are here today. If you have not already guessed it, if the sign has not told you what we're talking about. But first I want to thank you all for being part of the work we have done over the last few years to address the facility challenges in Halton region. I know that there are many. It's aging infrastructure and there are no easy fixes. And I also like to thank you for your advocacy and advice about improvements. And I can tell you that we'll continue to count on your support over the months and years ahead as we move forward. Halton's population continues to increase, as Indira was mentioning in her remarks. And over the next 2 decades, Halton is expected to be the fastest growing region in the province of Ontario, with a population growth of over 60% by 2041. That's great news. It means that the region is booming. More and more people are calling Halton their home. And it means that people are coming to live here, to grow their families here, to start their businesses right here in Halton. But it also means that there's more pressure on existing infrastructure. There's more pressure on hospitals and schools and vital community services. And our government has been working to respond to these needs by investing in a new post-secondary campus in Milton, building a new hospital in Oakville, as mentioned right behind us, and adding more resources to the Halton Police Service. And while those investments are helping address some of these local needs, there's continuing pressure on our court facilities. You're all aware of the challenges at the Milton Courthouse. It's overcrowded, it lacks conference rooms for family matters, and there's no space for vital community agencies like the John Howard and the Elizabeth Fry Societies. These challenges have caused unacceptable delays in the region. Vital though it is, unfortunately, the justice system can often represent a very difficult time in people's lives. Maybe you are going through a tough divorce or a custody battle, or maybe you have been the victim of a crime. Delays in courts add an unfair pressure on people and families who are already struggling through a very stressful time. As government, we have a responsibility to the victims, families, witnesses, and communities to make sure that they have justice served in a reasonable time. Delays impact trust and confidence in the administration of justice, but most importantly, they erode public trust. And while there's a lot to the issue, just having the space, the actual physical capacity to deliver justice is essential to addressing delays. I know that a new courthouse for Halton region has been the top infrastructure priority for your community and for my ministry for the past few years. And it has been a long time coming, and I am very excited and delighted to announce today that Ontario government will be building a new courthouse in Halton right at this site where we are standing. So take the stock of that nice green background, and won't be no more. It will bring together under one roof the current operations of the Superior Court of Justice and the Ontario Court of Justice in Burlington and Milton. But most importantly, the new courthouse will address the justice needs of people in Halton. It will help reduce delays in Halton by making operations more efficient and effective, and it will help families settle their disputes faster. Now, this is the perfect site for the courthouse. We are right between the current sites of the Milton and Burlington courthouses. It will be easily accessible by GO or rapid transit that's planned along Dundas Street, and is already well serviced, which means construction can begin sooner than any other possible sites in the region. Now, I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves. like any significant investment in infrastructure, it will take few years before we open the doors to this new courthouse. Other projects of this size have taken from 5 to 7 years to build, though I am hopeful that this won't take as long because of the amount of work and planning that has been done to date on this very important project. But what I can tell you is that the finished building will be modern and accessible. It will house 21 state-of-the-art courtrooms, including one multiple accused high-security courtroom. And it will be designed to accommodate additional courtrooms in the future as well. It will offer a broad range of services, including justice, social, and victim supports to help the public as they navigate through the court system. And we will use technology to make the court more effective and user-friendly, such as video conferencing that will allow to appear from remote locations. Children and other vulnerable people will be able to appear before court from a secure room through closed-circuit television. Counsel will be able to display video for all participants to view, and courtrooms will have an audio amplification system so that everybody can be heard in a courtroom as well. With increased capacity and better use of technology throughout the facility, the new courthouse provides an opportunity to bring in innovative digital solutions that will make it easier for the people of Halton to access the justice system and make services more user-friendly. I'm truly very excited about the prospect of a new courthouse in Halton region. And I want to congratulate you all for the hard work that you have put into making this happen. I know there has been a lot of planning on this project that has allowed us to be standing here today and announce that we will be building a new courthouse. And let me assure you that the work that has been done and the input that has been provided makes us that much closer to making a new consolidated courthouse a reality in Halton. Now, I would be remiss if I did not thank your local MPPs, Kevin, Indira, Eleanor, and Ted, for their incredible advocacy. I started starting to skipping them in hallways when I would see them at Queen's Park, because they single-handedly always just spoke about one issue and one issue only, and that is the Halton Courthouse. So when I was home visiting my dad, who's just arrived and standing in the back here, and if he starts talking to me about the courthouse, I gotta get this done. So the courthouse happening, and I just want to thank your representatives for their good work and hard work in convincing and making us recognize at Queen's Park how important it is. And we very much look forward to continue working with you, Mr. Mayors, you and through the region. I want to give a shout out to Regional Chair Gary Carr as well, with them as we move to the next steps in the planning and the environmental assessment that will be taking place to build this courthouse so that we can get this done sooner than later. So thank you very much again for having me here today. And now I'm going to ask my friend and colleague Kevin Flynn, the MPP for Oakville, to come forward and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Yasir. Thank you, Yasir, and thank you for that wonderful news. And yes, we have been on your tail, all 4 or 5 of us that are here today, and it's great to be here. And it's just, I'm not going to talk about the courthouse. I think Yasir's done a wonderful job of that. It's going to be such a tremendous addition to the community. It's going to allow the administration of justice to move so much more effectively and efficiently. And I've visited the Milton Courthouse and seen the conditions that exist up there today, and anybody else that has been through know that that simply isn't good enough for Milton. It's not good enough for Oakville, Burlington, or Halton Hills. Certainly isn't good enough for the Halton Regional Police Service as well. We can do better than that, and we're going to do better than that right here on this site. But the opportunity that we have here, sometimes it's instructive to look back a little bit and realize that we've got the opportunity or the option of using this land simply because of decisions that were made or were almost not made by some of my colleagues that are here today, some of the people I served on council with, people like Ralph Robinson. I'm not sure anybody else I actually served with, but the members of council, you think back about what Rick Burnett and I started politics the very same day, right, Rick? We both aged beautifully. So, but there was a decision to be made on this land, I would say about 20 years ago now. And the idea was there was some people in town, some people on council at the time that thought this would make great industrial land. that we should build big box stores, we should allow factories and warehouses on this land. There was a feeling in the community that we could do better than that this really deserved to be public land, because there may be some uses we may need for it in the future. If you look behind us here, you've got Glenorchy Conservation Area behind us. That simply didn't exist before, and it's just an example of how you can preserve green space in the community, but we knew that we'd have some public uses. And I know there were some people in town at the time that thought that Oakville Trafalgar Hospital the new hospital should be on a posted stamp-sized lot over at Trafalgar and Dundas. There was others that are in the audience today that really realized that we could do better on this site here. There was people who were saying that we should try to move the Erin Oaks Treatment Center out of lease property in Oakville. And when we were looking for ways to do that, we had this land here that was still publicly owned. So when it came time to look for a courthouse that was located in a way that so many people from the region were able to access it on an equitable basis, this land was available. So because of decisions that council made and the provincial government of the day, our provincial government made when we decided that we were going to lease the land to the Conservation Authority as opposed to sell it like the previous government wanted to do, we've got these options now. We've got playing fields coming in the background. So this is land that is serving the public. And I can think of no better use in serving the public than obviously the administration of justice. And the site that's being proposed here today was one that just jumped off the page because we own the land already, and it's just going to continue to serve the public. So thank you, Yasir, for making this announcement today. Thank you, Ted, for your advocacy for this, and Eleanor and Indira, and for all the people that have joined us from all the councils here, including the regional council today. I think this really is a joint effort. Thanks to the legal community as well in Oakville that has been tremendous advocates for this as well. Obviously, the conditions that they were working under was something that they wanted to bring to the government's attention, and I think in a very effective way they've been able to do that. So it's a wonderful example, I think, if you do it right. I think if you make the right decisions, the benefits of those decisions continue to pay off years into the future. Today, I think, is a day to celebrate what we've been able to do in the past and how that's influenced the future. So I'm going to stop speaking here. Just want to say thank you to Yasir for the work that you've done. Sitting next to you on Treasury Board, I know I was a pain in the rear, and I don't apologize for that because I think you know this is the right thing to do, and thank you for what you've done to make sure this happens. I have a colleague next to me who we work wonderfully together as we do with as we all do in Halton region, because we really have the interests of the community at heart. That's Eleanor McMahon. So Eleanor, if you'd like to come up and say a few words, I know everyone's waiting for you.
Thanks. With bated breath, yes. Well, what to say after such a wonderful and lovely words and welcome by Kevin Flynn and my colleague Indira Naidoo-Harris and Yasir. Bienvenue à Halton. Welcome to Halton. And thank you, Ted, for being here. And we really do have a great team in Halton, Kevin, as you mentioned. And it is such a special day today. Alors, bonjour, chers amis. Je suis ravie d'être ici avec vous tous. Delighted to be here with all of you, ladies and gentlemen. And I would add to Kevin's remarks only because they were perfect, because that history component, Kevin, really does speak to the antecedents and what makes a day like today happen, right? It is purposeful and dedicated advocacy by members of the Ontario Legislature whose duty it is, and what pleasure do we have in doing so, and what an honor it is to serve the people of our communities. But we also work with a very good team of regional councillors and mayors who are here this morning, and city councillors too, who have been talking to us about this, certainly Indira, since you and I were elected 3 years ago, and this has been a strong priority of ours since that time. I also want to send a special thank you to the police officers of our region who serve us bravely every day. Nice to see our chief here, Steve Tanner. Thank you, Steve. And this is for all of your members as well. We know that all of you have been strong advocates for a new courthouse. The conditions there have been less than stellar for your officers, and we know that this new facility is going to make a huge difference in the administrative justice, but also in the work that all of your officers do. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Our victim services people are here, and someone who sadly and unfortunately went through an experience at this courthouse after the death of my husband. I want to thank our victim services people and echo what my colleagues have said about how this new courthouse is going to make their workplace more comfortable. The experience and access of justice to people who unfortunately find themselves, as the Attorney General mentioned, in difficult situations and have to access the justice system, and yet have those victim services people with them, and the ability for them to have a space that works for them and makes their clients feel more comfortable. That's critical. To the lawyers and the justice folks who are here, to our legal community, thank you. Echo Kevin's comments and thanking all of you for really being that voice for your clients, for the justice community, and talking about how critical it is that we have a new facility here. So as a consequence of all of that and more, Yasir, our Attorney General, we're so delighted that you're here today in Halton to make this important announcement. I do want to echo that it is National Aboriginal Day, and in a special way begin by recognizing that Burlington and this part of Oakville have been a gathering place for people of Turtle Islands for many a generation. I wish to recognize the neighboring communities of the Six Nations of the Grand River Territory, the Mississaugas of the New Credit, and show respect for them today and always. So this announcement has been a long time in coming, as the Attorney General mentioned, and as Indira mentioned, we know that Halton region is the fastest growing region in the country, and as a consequence, having a new court facility is meaning that we're keeping up with the growing needs of our population here. We also, as a consequence of those pressures, as the Attorney General mentioned, we have long wait times here in the Central West region in our court system. The facility that we have now is aging and overcrowded, and so today's announcement is indeed timely. For all of these reasons, of course, as has been mentioned, but worth mentioning again, that this has been a very important priority for all of the MPPs in this region and all of our municipal officials. So I'm proud that Minister Naqvi is making this announcement today, but I'm proud of the clear and prevailing investment that this means for our region. This shows a distinct commitment by our government to Halton region to continue and invest, as Indira mentioned, in the tremendous amount of infrastructure that you see around you. All we have to do is look across the street and see that new hospital. The Note Kids, proud legacy projects for our colleague Kevin Flynn, who's been a stern advocate and a staunch advocate for this community, and now joined by the land behind us, which will hold this magnificent new courthouse. On a personal note, having the opportunity to consolidate the Milton and Burlington Superior Court of Justice and the Ontario Court of Justice operations under one roof reduces cost and enhances the administration of justice. And of course, this increased capacity that will be the hallmark of this beautiful new courthouse will mean enhanced access to justice for accused as well. And you know, it's important, as I mentioned, to underscore the connection that this creates, the improved and enhanced connection to social services, to victim services, and social justice programs. You know, many of us here have toured the current courthouse, and on one of our tours, it was underscored for all of us as we saw duty counsel talking to accused in the hallway, as we saw jurors gathered in the stairwell, and so on. That the absolute clear, crystal clear need for a new facility was why Kevin and I elbowed Yasir often at Treasury Board, and he listened, and we are all the better for it. Important to underscore, I think, the accessibility that has been mentioned, but you know, this new facility will be accessible to transit. We're looking at a new bus rapid transit system for Dundas, which will bring people closer to this facility. Of course, all the highways surrounding us. And you know, this is important, and it's a very happy day for all of us, Mr. Attorney General. So thank you, thank you. I want to close by just saying again that this new facility will improve the working conditions for our police officers, our court officials, our victim services, and our valuable public servants who assist us, who assist all of you in the access to justice, and that is critically important to the quality of life for our citizens and the people of this region in particular. So thank you all for being here, for your advocacy. Happy, happy days. Thank you, Attorney General. Merci.
Sure, give me the hard job of answering questions. Okay.
When will this be finished?
You're asking a real question. So Kevin Flynn just asked me, when will this be finished? So as I was saying earlier, Kevin, projects of this nature takes about 5 to 7 years. We're hopeful that this will be a shorter time span than that, because we have done a lot of the functional planning work already. One of the great attraction of this land has been that the province have owned this land, and my understanding is that this piece of land is also serviced. So that allows for those time frames to be truncated significantly. My understanding is the next step in the process is the environmental assessment that has to be done, and I'm informed that we can the construction will probably most likely will start sometime in late 2019 to roughly about a 3 to 4 year time frame for the construction to complete. Yes. What's the cost? Significant. I'm going to be a bit prudent in stating the dollar figure for a very simple reason that we haven't started the procurement process, and I want to maintain the integrity of the procurement process. But what I want to say to you and assure the community that the hospital is fully funded. The courthouse is fully funded, and it has been approved by the government through Treasury Board the funding for the new courthouse. This is a significantly larger courthouse. As I said, this is a consolidated courthouse, so it will bring both the Superior Court of Justice and the Ontario Court of Justice from both Milton and Burlington into one location. We are starting with a 21 courthouse with the possibility of expansion as well to up to 4 to 5 more courtrooms in eventual expansion. My understanding is the functional design work has been done. So the architectural work has to be undertaken. Last 2 years or so, we were able to secure funding from our existing ministry budget, from our capital funds, to get a consultant and start the functional design work. There has been a lot of consultation that has been done with the towns in the region, our court services, our judiciary, and the local police, regional police service as well, to better understand exactly what's needed. That has brought us to this point that allowed us to know exactly what capacity we're talking about, what size we're talking about, what dollar amount will be required. And now we're building on that. Once we have secured that funding and have agreed on this particular piece of land, Infrastructure Ontario, whose representative are here as well, start the next step of the process in the construction. Well, so the melting facilities, obviously, we will keep it operational until and maintained until all the operations are moved into this new site, and after that, we will revert that property back to Infrastructure Ontario. Any other questions? Thank you very much. Congratulations to the community. Thank you for all your hard work. Look forward to continue working with you.